So, I was hyped, because today I was gonna get to drive the kart, but I just pulled up. It's raining pretty hard. So, I don't really think driving is gonna be in the cards today, but Bob, he has a couple surprises for me today, and I'm pretty stoked to see what he's got going on, because these guys are always up to something. Let's check it out.
What's up, dude? I told you I had a surprise for you. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Ta-da! We did a little shop overhaul. We've had a lot of rain since you were last here, as you can tell, so we've had some time cooped up. Do you want a tour?
Yes, please.
Well, we're here. Upgraded my welding bench a little bit, got that nice metal top, no more burning the wood. We went ahead and installed ourselves a nice pegboard. You know, you gotta have your stuff at the ready. Brought home my old toolbox from when I was working at Firestone. So we got all of our tools a little closer, easier to access. And then came over here, built myself some new shelving so that all of our parts aren't just stacked up in boxes anymore. And then you were asking for a place to set up your gimbal and all that, so we took care of you with this little guy right here. Pegboard's a little naked, but...
Oh, that'll be filled up soon. That's great.
Not bad.
Dude, this place looks mint.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. In addition to all that, I was able to get a decent amount of work done. I got time lapses, we can go through some of that. Yeah, why don't we get into it?
Let's do it, dude.
All right, so let's take a look at this footage. So, since you were last here, we actually did get this thing reassembled and put back out there. Yeah, we went out to the state forest, but what we didn't account for is we had a wheel off of another sort.
Oh no.
Yeah, we lost a lug nut about 1 mile into our 3-mile journey into the state forest.
Ooh.
And on mile 3, went to spin the cart around and the wheel came off. So let's take a look at that right here, actually.
We don't know. I see it. It's clear. Let's go there. Whatever. What's that one? Nice.
That's new. You savages.
Yeah, no, it was a little sketchy.
That looks kind of bad.
It looked real bad. We spent about...
That drift? No.
Yeah, he sent it.
We were doing some drifting without a lug nut on.
Just free balling.
Yeah, if you actually roll it back, there's a couple places like right here, you can see him taking a turn and the wheel actually shifts out a little bit.
Oh my
and
God.
snap back in. We had no idea. So in order to take care of that, I drilled those front axles and we installed some cotter pins. So no more wheel offs in the state forest. We've been lucky with our wheel offs. No high speed wheel offs yet.
Right.
Uh-oh. Amazon's here. What do they got for us?
Could be our...
Don't tell them. That's supposed to be a surprise.
Oh, we'll bleep it.
Good, man. How are you?
Good. What are you guys doing?
Thank you. Shooting the YouTube series.
Hey, when you go big, just, send me the royalty.
Yeah.
I got you. Oh, I do know what this is. You know what? I think we'll leave it here for the unboxing for this time. We'll save this for next episode, because this is going to be a fun one. If you remember, the rear end was making a lot of ka-chunk sounds. It was like the one sketchy sounding thing left on the cart.
You can hear it a little bit actually in the last video. There were times where I was kind of like, is something wrong?
Yeah, it sounds like something was wrong. It was literally just that we had really bad bolts in there that were worn out. So I took those out, replaced them, put in some nice joints that have bushings in them, so that'll be no more bad noises. So we got all that done. I disassembled the engine, pulled the flywheel off so we could install some additional coils, because we're gonna run a big ass light bar across the top and we need to be able to keep our battery charged while we're running that thing. So this is gonna double our amperage output and hopefully that would be pretty
cart?
cool.
Yeah, a Tesla cart?
Don't test me.
I don't know about fuel cells.
Nothing, so that's a problem. So we went ahead and did that. It actually was a nightmare. I had to go in. Flywheels on these Predators are usually stuck on pretty good. As you can see, I was struggling with it. put my steering wheel puller on it. Didn't have long enough 6mm bolts, so I had to end up drilling out holes in the flywheel so I could tap in bigger holes so I could fit bigger bolts. Finally got it off, busted my knuckles up in the process.
Ow.
It was entertaining, to say the least. I love working on things. And then, obviously, the elephant in the room from last time was our hub exploded. I took care of that. I don't have footage of the front hubs, but I preemptively beefed up the rear hubs. And so you can see that right here. Welded in 4 supports on the rear hubs just so that we don't have to worry about those snapping off ever. That's my old welding table before this nice pretty one.
Are there any other like weak spots?
The steering rack that we have has a little bit of slop in it. I'm gonna build a bracket to support that steering rack at some point, but I haven't got around to that yet. We took care of the rear hubs, took care of the front hubs. The other thing that I wanna tackle today while we're at it is see if we can pull that torque converter apart from last time, because that was our other big issue. That thing got locked open.
Right.
So we'll go through that and see what's actually wrong with it and see if my diagnosis was correct. I'm hoping it would be something that we can just fix. We don't have to upgrade those springs like I talked about. Because I love the low engagement, because to be able to crawl on this thing, I'm a speed demon and I like to drift and send it on the dirt roads and stuff. We still want to be able to crawl through the woods. So we got to resolve that. And I think that'll be enough to get us through this rainstorm.
Pretty good list.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
All right. All right, like I said, since we can't get out there and drive today, I say we tackle this torque converter issue we were having last time. Get this thing open and take a look at it. If you guys remember, this thing was locked open and won't shut all the way, keeping us kind of in first gear, and we kept stalling the go-kart because of it. So the first thing that I'm gonna have to do is get this thing clamped in here. I made us a special tool to get this thing open because it's got a big nut on the front that's welded on, and then I cut down one of our old axles and welded it to the end of this piece of pipe so we can use it as a breaker bar to get this thing opened up. So hopefully this comes out pretty easily. Ooh, yeah, there we go. All right, so this is gonna be spring loaded, so we gotta be careful of that. I might be able to do it by hand now. Yep, okay. So this is under some spring tension, so I'm gonna wanna be careful this doesn't pop up and hit me in the face. So my initial thinking is that we may have spun these things out too far and hit the inside of the bell housing. We'll have to take a look at that. Oh, there we go. All right. Bushings look okay. Spring looks fine. Let's get this thing open. I don't see any dings on the inside, so I don't think we actually threw it out so far that it hit the housing like I thought. So maybe RPM's not a problem. And I can see here, these welds are what was actually creating those bruises we saw on the outside, not denting from the rollers. So that's not a problem. But you can see here, see how this roller right here is in the track all the way, and so is this one. And then we get to this one, it's kicked out on an angle, holding it kind of sideways there. So that being kicked out like this is what's locking it up into place. What we want is these to sit down and in like that. Okay, so that was our issue. And let's go ahead and just pull all this out carefully. Okay, we put those aside. Okay. So I have a couple gripes right off the bat. Gripe number one is that these have some pretty sharp, unfinished edges where the metal was stamped out. And I think that the roller, because of those sharp edges, was able to get locked up sideways like that. And so the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is go in and grind those edges down and just kind of smooth them out a little bit so that hopefully they don't get stuck like that anymore. Second gripe is that inside here, there's like no lubrication whatsoever. I understand there's lubrication on these rollers, but not enough to make me happy. So we're gonna get the Dremel out, sand this all down, and then once we've done that, clean it out a little bit, and then come back in. I've got some new dry Molly lube, and we'll use that to grease this thing back up, and maybe, hopefully, we'll alleviate our problems we were having. Oh, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this on camera, but check this out right here. You can hear it. My fingernail, that's one of those sharp edges that the roller got jammed up in sideways and it bent that little sharp edge over, and I think that's what was holding it in place. It doesn't take much, but that right there is enough. I don't feel any other dings on these other ones, so I think this is the roller that was stuck open. These are cut U sharp, so we don't want that. Let me get some paper towels real quick. All right, so I'm gonna get in here first with the drum, like I said, and let's just clean up these rough edges. Safety first. All right, now we're going to lube the heck out of this thing. Get one of these bad boys down. I'm gonna do these inside pieces first because there's really no finesse here. The only place I really care about are the inside of these sort of three-pronged tracks, because that's where the rollers are gonna reside. Everywhere else is just gonna be overspray, but it ain't the shuttle, so. But you can see way more lubrication in here now, so we gotta let these dry. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get this guy as well, the shaft that the actual bell slides on. I wanna lube that up pretty good. We gotta be careful, we don't wanna get any lube on the part where the belt sits. So Rachel Ray pre-cut us a little plate so we can block that. And let's get these. That looks pretty good. And while we're at it, we might as well hit all these as well. I'm going heavy on the sides because that's where it was binding up. Okay. So we're gonna have about 1,000% more lube than stock, which can only be a good thing, right? And so yeah, let's just let these dry and maybe you can kick it to some B-roll or something. GoPro, start recording. Well, it's all nice and dry now. That was some grade A B-roll there, Trey. Well done. Let's get this thing put back together. I'm gonna take the inner housing and we'll get these springs back on. Even though they're under tension, it's not that much. Let's get those snapped right in. They should sit right in their little cozy homes. Nice. So right there in the channel, they're all sitting flat, no more cocked sideways. Looks good. You gotta line these back up so that the tracks match up with the tracks on the inside here. You should be able to feel it. Yep. So check that out. No more inner bell housing hanging out like it was before. It's right snug down in there good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so all this is gonna go back together. Take it back in the vise. Now the tricky part is getting these threads started again. Get this thing lined up. Get my weight back on it. And see if I can get those threads to start. Okay. Crank this thing back down. Grab our custom breaker, hold the table so I have a little bit more leverage. Happy with that. All right. Last thing, because my hands are all dirty and I got lube and grime and all that on the inside here. We don't want the belt getting dirty with that, so I'm gonna come in with some alcohol preps here and just clean this up. As much as we want lubrication on the inside, we want good friction on the outside so that belt will grab. All right. Good as new. Dare I say, better. Only one way to find out though. And unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna be today, but we'll get this thing back on there at least. We'll be ready to rock for next time. Not too shabby. All right, got another good day under our belts. So I mean, let's just recap it all.
Yeah.
It's been a long week, honestly. We did our shop overhaul.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Helpful for us, good for Trey, good for everybody. The rain was all right. As far as work on the cart, we got those front hubs sorted out, got those things repositioned, welded up. Test drive proved that those were effective.
Improve the steering.
Yeah, hugely improved the steering. And that was something we were struggling with, so I'm glad that that helped.
Right.
Reinforce those rear hubs, just kind of preemptively so we don't have any issues, and they look badass.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Off-road ready officially now. Although those front hubs are way stronger, didn't stop us from having a wheel off on our test drive.
That was an issue.
So got those cotter pins drilled. We should be good to go on that. No more issues there.
Yeah.
And then we took care of the subframe joint because that was making a lot of noise.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that was the one thing that was left that made it feel like that old cart that we picked up on the flatbed for 300 bucks.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be quiet.
Yeah, and we should get some vibration reduction out of having those bushings in there, so that'll be good too. I did my big coil job, the nightmare that it was, but I think it'll be worth it. That'll keep our battery charged up when we're running at night with the lights on, because we're gonna have quite a few lights. I've been itching to see them on there. That's gonna be so cool. And then we got our big torque converter rebuild.
But I like what you found. So
Yeah,
if
well,
you opened it up and didn't find anything, you know, we'd be scratching our heads.
Right, it was pretty definitive. It was those sharp edges in there. The rollers got kind of cocked sideways, and so we took care of that, ground that down, lubed the heck out of it, so we should be in good shape there. But like I said, it's gonna need a test drive, so Trey, you might be up, buddy. You haven't got on this thing yet.
Dude, I'm in. You know I'm in.
I'll film it.
Good. We'll get you. We got to get him some gimbal lessons.
With the 2 GoPros now too?
Oh, true.
Oh my god, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, the stabilization on that GoPro 8 is just absolutely wild.
It doesn't even make sense.
No.
You know, I looked up how it works.
Yeah.
I don't understand you. There's no answers online, so.
Magic.
Magic.
It's magic.
It's all right. We like magic around here. We could use all the magic we can get on this thing. So yeah, next time we'll tackle the light bar, get that installed. We got to get Trey on this thing, like I said. That's important. Get the harnesses in. Hopefully we'll have your real gas tank mounted, and then we got some little performance upgrades. Got a little teaser of that from the FedEx guy today. So
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, man.
I have to send him a check.
Yeah, he wants royalties. We're gonna need to get royalties first.
Yeah, that's true.
That's up to you guys. Subscribe, but yeah, man, feeling good. So it's too bad we got the rain, but
It worked out. We stayed busy, actually.
we did stay very busy. Cool, man. I guess that's a wrap for now. We'll pick it back up next week. What do you think to say to that, Trey?
That sounds like a plan, my friends.
All right, man.